This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted, as always, to be joined by Qais Ashfaq. Hi, Qais.
Not bad at all, how are you?
I'm not bad, thank you. Not bad. Let's get straight down to it. Last time I spoke to you, you were an unbeaten prospect. You're now not unbeaten. Talk to me about your fight with Marc Leach.
Yeah, it was an awkward contest. A fight where I do believe I was the better fighter, but he did what he had to do on the night, and you can't take nothing away from the kid. You know, he came. To be honest with you, I didn't agree with some of the knockdowns, but they happened, and they won in the fight. Really, there's not much else to say.
You mentioned you felt that you were the better fighter on the night. Obviously, you go back quite a long way with Marc Leach. You shared numerous rounds together. You know each other, very familiar from the amateurs. In hindsight, do you think you placed a little bit too much on those sparring sessions?
No, because I'm honest with you, I'm sure if you ever do speak to him, he'll say the same thing. That compared to the spars, I probably boxed totally different, because the spars were always kind of touch, technical stuff, and they were never really nothing too heavy. And if anything, I was the one that was a bit more aggressive in the fight. And so I don't think even if you asked him, I don't think the spars would have made much of a difference really in terms of how we went into the fights.
How would you assess your own performance? Obviously, it's the first fight that you've had in a while. Everybody's been at the mercy of COVID. You feel the ring rust when you're in there?
Definitely. You've seen box before. It wasn't me in there on that night. I've performance. I wouldn't even give it a 5 in my own opinion. Maybe I'm critical of myself, but yeah, I wouldn't even give it that. But like I say, I want the rematch. That's something that I do want to put out there. I want the rematch because that just wasn't me in there. I don't like making excuses, so I will put my hands up and say, listen, he won the fight, and congratulations to him. He did what he had to do on the night, but it was clear to see even in the fight, I was the better fighter. Better work. Knockdowns were, first one okay, fair enough, but the second knockdown shouldn't have been a knockdown, and that's what, in my opinion, lost me that fight. And it's just one of those now. I've got to regroup, move on, and I'm hoping I can get the rematch sooner rather than later, so I can right this wrong.
That's the first fight that you've had underneath the guidance of Angel Fernandez. We saw him in the work in the corner with you. We were sort of privy to little bits of what he was saying, but not all of it, obviously. What advice was he giving you during the fight, and what was his reaction after the fight?
To be honest, even when I watched the fight back personally, there wasn't much in it at all, and that's why I say the knockdown, especially the second one, that I totally disagree with. Shouldn't have been a knockdown, and that's what lost me the fight. But he was kind of in the same sort of mindset, really, because we thought, we did the better rounds, better work through the rounds. And he's a very technical sort of coach. And he was very technical on the night as well. And that was the most important thing for him was, don't drop my lead hand. And because that's what got me in trouble in the third round. I think it was third or fourth. And then the seventh round, dropped my lead hand, got caught. But again, he was in the same mindset. I mean, that was never a knockdown. It was a push, if anything.
How did you feel the day after the fight? Obviously, you, as I mentioned, sort of tongue-in-cheek at the start of the interview, it's the first loss that you've had as a professional. It's been a long time since you've had a loss, even going back to the amateurs. How did you feel the next day?
Gutted. Absolutely heartbroken. To be honest, I'm still in the same mindset now. It's a weird one, because whenever I wake up, it's like it's a dream. I'm thinking, it never happened. That performance, no, the way it went down, you know what I mean? But what gets me through personally is my religion, being a Muslim, and what we believe, and we have belief in, is the fact that whatever happens for a reason. And the way we kind of put it is, if something's meant to reach you, it'll reach you even if it's underneath a mountain. And if it's not meant to reach you, it won't reach you, even if it's there underneath your own lips. And that's the way we kind of, well, as a Muslim myself, especially, I kind of get through hard times, and the whole heartbreak of last week, Saturday. And that's what is getting me through now. That belief that everything happens for a reason, and God is the best of planners, and He's got something better planned for me. And this is just a little hiccup on the road.
That was something that I was going to come on and talk to you about, your faith, something that we've discussed previously. I remember at the start of lockdown watching a video that you did with Amir Khan around
Yeah.
Ramadan and the month, and I know how close that you and Amir are, who also had his setbacks at the early stage of his career. Have you heard from Amir since the fight, and if so, what did he say to you?
He's been away, so I've not heard from him properly. I think he's got back today. He's been away in the States, but he sent me a message before the fight. Obviously, as he does, good luck, all that sort of stuff. But I'm yet to catch up with him. With obviously after the fight, and like I said, I believe he just only got home yesterday, so I won't be surprised if he gives me a call in the next couple of days.
What's it like? I mean, you haven't spoke to him since because of various different reasons. But having somebody like Amir, who you are close with, who you do look to for guidance, and seeing the way that he's turned his career around, given the nature of his early loss in his career, how much motivation does that give you?
Great motivation, because see, with Amir, with him being from the same background as me anyway, the British Pakistani background, and him just being an hour down the road, it's always been someone that I've always compared myself. Maybe I shouldn't compare myself, but I've compared myself to him in many ways. For example, when I was an amateur, I used to tell myself, listen, if he can get to the Olympics, why can't I? And that kind of drove me on. And it's the same now, really, where I'm thinking to myself, he's been through adversity. He's had his setbacks. He got through them, and I'm going to do the same. That's something that was obviously something that's always mentioned as well. For example, someone who's seen the fight or someone who's commented on the fight might say to me, or might send me a message saying, listen, don't worry about it. Look what happened with Amir Khan. And so I always get that comparison anyway because of our backgrounds. But yeah, it does help in many ways, because it kind of calms me down, because obviously, as you can imagine, I can be very panicky sometimes in terms of my career, and like, for example, with this loss, it made me panic straight away. I was thinking, what am I going to do now? And all these thoughts going through your head. But another thing that really does help a huge amount is a great management team, and I'm blessed to be with 258 management now, and they help calm me down, and they help me understand that, listen, don't worry about it. This is just a little hiccup, the smallest of hiccups, and it's something that a lot of fighters have gone through in the past anyway. And they believe, and I believe, that I'm more than capable of getting past this and getting to the top still. And that's still my aim and my goal.
So what's next, Qais? Obviously, you mentioned the fact that you want the rematch with Marc Leach. That's not going to happen this side of the new year. What's the plan between now and 2021?
Like I say, if I do get an opportunity, I'll fight as soon as. I'm one of them fighters. I'm always in the gym anyway. I've had this week off. I'm back training next week, so I'm always in the gym either way, and I'm looking forward to going out there. Hopefully, getting the rematch as soon as possible and righting that wrong, but also proving to people that even with setbacks, they aren't the end of the world. Because you know what else? I can't. Someone said to me the other day. I can't remember if it was a friend of mine said to me the other day. Said to me, "Listen, let me ask you a question." He goes, "When you look at people and you look at the best role models, what do you see?" And I went, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "The best of role models aren't the ones that don't go through adversity, have it great, and slide through whatever they're doing with ease. It's the ones that go through adversity and prove how strong they are and still make it to the top." And that kind of hit back quite hard, and that stuck in my mind. Many to you, Rob.
What do you have to do different in a rematch, Kez? I appreciate it's very soon after the fight, but what do you feel that you need to do differently next time around?
I believe I was just in the first fight. I believe I was just a bit too eager to impress. Really, just calm down. Literally, that would make the biggest difference. Calm down. I'm the best boxer. I proved that on the night, even though I was very erratic, and I, prove. Maybe there was a lot of pressure that made me feel like I had to prove something when I just needed to be myself. And that's all I need to do, be myself, and I'll go out there and I'll get that win, God willing.
Okay, Kez, well, I do appreciate your time today, especially so soon after what must have been a difficult night to take. But I think that you certainly, in this very short Zoom call, have shown all of the things that you want to look for from an unbeaten prospect or formerly unbeaten
Thank you
prospect
very
moving
much.
forward. And I know that you will go back to the gym and work very, very hard. Thanks very much
Always.
for speaking to Boxing Social, as always, Qais Ashfaq.
Pleasure.
And I look forward to
Thank you very
speaking to
much.
you soon.
Definitely. Thank you very much.